Good gaming champions. Welcome to Champions Tabletop at Origins Game Fair 2024. It is such a pleasure to be here with you. Of course, I'm Matt, one of the hosts of Champions Tabletop. Joined with me this year behind the scenes is Shay. Shay, we're going to get a picture of him sleeping on the couch over there because it is late on Wednesday night. It is an important thing for us to get this out because we had an amazing opportunity on Wednesday to get some behind the scenes information on some of the great new games from some of the smaller publishers that are coming out this year. And so we wanted to make sure that we touched on some of those to give you, if you're coming down to Origins here in Columbus, Ohio, which, you know, for those of us from Michigan, we call that the armpit of Michigan. But for those of you who may be coming, give you some of the smaller games to check out. So that way you know the big companies, but here's some amazing ones we want to check out. Before I go into that, I have to ask you, any ideas on what that thing is? Shay had said it was a monster. Has no nose. And all science would say that sense of smell is like one of the top two most important things, especially if you're a predator. And it doesn't have that at all. It's also wearing no clothes, but has a backpack. So anybody at Origins knows what that's supposed to be. I'd love to find out. Definitely link it in the comments. So with that said, definitely want to touch on the first game that we had a chance to get some hands-on time with today. This game is going to be coming to us from a small company called Dryer Inc. I had a wonderful time sitting talking to the two creators of this game. Basically, it's called Bubble Net. This game is all about humpback whales. So for those of you who are big aquatic fans, you will be a big fan of this game. Basically, what you're going to do is you are going to be dealing with trying to consume as many fish as you possibly can before all of the other whales get those precious little morsels in their bellies. So it's a little bit of a push-pull type of game. What I really found interesting about it is you'll see the pictures in the video, but the aesthetics of it are very pleasing, especially for the younger audience. It's only about a 10-minute game, and effectively the whole game can be multiplayer, but a solitaire type of experience. So you're kind of more so managing your own board. What was really interesting is Kat, one of the key designers, was telling me that it's really fascinating in that you can jump in even if the people who started the game are 2-3 turns into the game, because you're really kind of playing your own board. You're going to be really focused on effectively trying to consume the fish, get them into your belly. You're going to be pushing other fish away from some of your competitors. Think of it almost like a board game version of Hungry Hippos. The aesthetics, again, very, very graphic, not too rich colors, but overall a simple game. They kind of called it a palate cleanser. They want this to kind of be the game that you play at the start of a game night or a way to kind of wrap down. But again, it's just a quick, simple 10-minute game. So if you get a chance, check out Dryer Studios. They'll be showing off Bubble Net, and that's definitely one to check out. The next game that we had a chance to get some hands-on time with is actually not out yet. It'll be coming out on October 1st in Kickstarter. This is from a company called Origami Whale. And before I get into the topic of the actual game itself, one of the things that, my son is huge into origami, and I thought it was really interesting that every game you purchase from them will actually come with its own origami that you get to put together. They said they wanted to leave something special in there for everybody who purchases a game from them. So if you buy one, your friends buy one, you'll actually get different things to put together. So I know my son will definitely be upset with me if I don't pick up one of these copies. But with that said, their game that they're bringing to Gen Con, and more specifically Kickstarter, on October 1st is going to be called Dicey Devices. And the best way I can describe this, and I have to start with the art, because as somebody who grew up, I'm not going to get into the exact time, but I was young in the 90s, and a cartoon I used to love was Ren and Stimpy, and the art style I can only explain is very similar to that. It's kind of muted colors. It's got those thick, bold, dark, almost like pencil type of designs. So the art of this game is kind of unique to a lot of the cell shading that we see today. A lot of colors that try to really attract attention. This one is muted, and it really gives a unique experience. But what was really cool about this game is that it involves a lot of different types of mechanics. It has some card draw into it. So every person on the plays the game is going to have their own asymmetry type of cards and different starting deck. So you're going to have basically your lab. You're going to have this little guy named Igor. And what I loved is the whole purpose of the game is you're going to use your destructive ray to destroy your enemies. And so, Shay, I'm looking right at you, baby. I'm coming at you with my ray. And what's really cool about it is it kind of has almost, for those of you who are familiar with like Fallout Shelter, your laboratory is that kind of structure. And how you build it up is a lot of dice rolling. You're going to roll dice, and that's going to give you access to different cards they're going to be able to pull and draw. And as you roll those dice, you'll be able to use different cards in your laboratory. So effectively, you're using these abilities that will pile up to the scrap pile, which is going to be in the middle of the table. That's really where all the battles are going to happen. And once you have a ray that can take out all of your opponents, you get to zap, baby, and you get to take them all out. And what's really nice about it is even for those who maybe get phased out, if you lose all of your hit points and you get knocked out of the game, you're not actually out. So it's not one of those games where once you're done, you're done. Your Igor can still manage your laboratory. He can still be doing things in an effort to try to get you back into the game. Game ends once everybody is out except for one player. But at the end of the day, this game is still in prototype. You'll see the pictures of it. It looks absolutely fantastic, very unique, and one that you definitely need to check out. Again, from Origami Whale, this one is Dicey Devices. The next game we have coming to us that we had a chance to get some hands-on time with is from Forge Born Games. This game is called Terminus Frontier. So we've definitely seen a big movement into grid-based skirmish games. We have some big ones coming up, especially with like Cyberpunk. Halo has a very, very publicized one coming out later this year. And so Terminus Frontier is going to be another iteration of that tabletop skirmish game. This is brought to us by Jason and his brother Jeff. I did ask, and there are as many battles happening off the board as on the board, as you can imagine, two brothers trying to put together a game. This game is going to bring to you kind of a Gloomhaven meets Kill Team experience. So for those of you, especially who like that tabletop miniature game, one of the first things I noticed was that unlike most skirmish games, they are completely good with the concept of standees. You know, we're kind of caught in this world of everybody has to have these big, highly detailed miniatures, which of course, for those of us who are suckers for that, you lose all calyx space at home, and your spouse starts to wonder if you're going to have any place to live to handle all the board games because they're in such big boxes. So it's wonderful that somebody's trying to give you an alternative that will not only save you cost, but it will also still give you that wonderful tactile input. So this game is going to have, the other thing I love, dual layer boards. I can't say this enough for all of you out there. If you are a designer and you're making a game, it is worth the extra 5 cents per part to make these dual layer boards because they definitely make the experience so much better. Especially if you have somebody like Shay that you're playing with who's going to bump the board. You know he is. Pieces are everywhere. You can't remember where they were at, and that could be the entire deciding factor. Give us dual layer boards, put it down, have it be secure. Everybody can be happy. But this game is going to include, basically you're going to be fighting in a star system, and it's a kind of a government tactile skirmish game. So you're going to be one of 4 different factions. Again, you're going to have some asymmetry type abilities. Just like many of the skirmish games, you're going to have the ability to have terrain. They are going to come out potentially with some extra terrain pieces down the road. For those of you who do like miniatures, they will have some very, very detailed miniatures. We got some great footage of that. But overall, what I would say is this game definitely has some interest for those who like that skirmish style game. It's going to have a lot of unique features such as the ammo deck system. So this is going to let you kind of draw through a deck that's going to give you the ability to have different types of ammo put out. So it's going to be a little bit of a, randomization of how your ammo is going to shoot. You're going to have kind of an action point system. So again, as you're battling through that, action points are going to be building up. And then at the end of the day, they wanted to also make sure that we knew that there's no AI art that will be a part of this game. That was very important to them as they're kind of building this kind of in the basement type of scenario. So two brothers just kind of chasing the dream. So for those of you who are interested in those grid-based skirmish type of games, definitely check out Forge Born Games with Terminus Frontier. The next game we have coming to us is from Thunderworks Games. Of course, you probably know them from games such as Role Player Adventures, very, very successful games. Their new game is going to be coming out. It's being announced here at Origins. However, it's not going to actually come out until Gen Con, which is kind of the new trend that we're starting to see, where Origins kind of becomes the platform to introduce the new titles, with Gen Con kind of becoming the new platform where you're going to actually release the game. So for those of us at Origins, a little bit bummer sometimes because you want to go home with the game, not just learn about a game that's going to come out in a month. But with that said, Thunderworks is coming out with a new game called Metro Runner. So this is going to definitely be a cyberpunk game. And it says, in a mirror city, notoriety and the prospect of cashing in on a huge payday from the corpse is all that matters to the Metro Runner. Ride the ring and procure precious intel among the denizens of Old Town. Hack the network to access the underground market. Hone your skills with each complete job. This is going to be the first game from Stephen Kerr, who actually was a developer for Thunderworks Games for years prior. This is going to be his first foray into actual development, so I know that they were saying he's very excited for this. And he brings kind of almost like a mathematical mindset to this, because what's really interesting about this game is it is a worker placement type of game. However, what's neat is that, one, in order to complete different actions, you're going to have your game piece in distinct districts that are going to allow you to do different things, hence the worker placement part of that. And what you're building towards is the center of the board is actually going to have this jumbled tile that you're going to use your abilities and pieces to try to put together to create a portal that your character will be able to effectively move through. Each player will have their own portal, and so you're kind of pushing and pulling against each other, trying to manipulate this to get it how you want. Once you complete that, you're not only going to get advanced abilities and skills, but you're also going to gain the all too precious victory points, as this is a victory point type of game. And with that said, it takes a lot of mindset, a lot of attunement, because you will have access to know the type of portals that your opponents are going to be trying to put together. So you have to keep in mind what your players that you're going up against are going to be trying to do, along with yourself. The other interesting thing with this was that this game is going to allow you to have random goals, which I'm always a big fan of, because it means every different playthrough is going to have a unique outcome, a unique focus, and so that's an important thing that they wanted to make sure was mentioned. So with that said, if you're coming down, definitely make sure to go to Thunderworks and check out Metroid Runner. Another game that we wanted to make sure that we brought attention, and to me, this is exactly what Origins is all about, is giving those small developers an opportunity to really shine. So this game is actually called Seabound, and that's what the company is Seabound. It's actually two good friends who went to high school together. Sam and Chris, they were actually in Toledo. God bless their soul, because Toledo, if you've been there, I mean, it's Toledo. You know what I'm saying? So if you're in Toledo, I mean, like, it's Toledo. We all get it. So, but this is what Origins is about. It's two guys who were in different types of industries, and they just kind of wanted to get back to some things that they loved as kids. They wanted to kind of chase their dream, and they got together and they created Seabound. Seabound is a really interesting pirate game. So for those of you who want to get on the high seas and sail across the ocean blue looking for their pot of gold, not really pot of gold, I guess treasure. I'm sure Dion and Shay would make fun of me if they were here right now. It's late, it's late, okay? It's day one, it's late. But the point is that what's really neat with this is there is a mist across the ocean. And so as you take your pirate ship, you are able to move it across the board. You'll be opening the map up as you play. As you open it up, you're actually going to find things like treasure. While also moving across the map, you're going to be able to acquire new crewmen who all carry with them different unique capabilities. This game has a good element of dice rolling, which is going to help you decide where you can move, how much you can move. It's going to have a big emphasis on the cards with your crewmates and the abilities that they have that they can kind of bring to the table. And at the end of the day, it's all about planting that flag and finding that treasure. And the more treasure you get, well, guess what? Are you, matey? You're at the top of the leaderboard. You get to be the winner. So, with that said, these guys, if you come down to Origins, definitely make sure that you check out Seabound. They're two great guys from Ohio. I mean, God bless their soul. They're from Ohio. They need your support. We're from Michigan, so for those of you local, you get it. So, with that said, definitely check out Seabound with our good friends Sam and Chris. Sam wanted me to make sure he let everybody know his actual blood is in all of these miniatures. So I don't know if that meant like he's actually poking his finger. It could have been metaphorical, okay? He could have been hypothetically saying, my blood, sweat, and tears. I took it as he's actually just dripping blood into the miniatures because he's that devoted to the game. You gotta love it. Now I get to stand here with my good buddy Shay. Shay, welcome to Origins. I'm glad we could wake you up from that couch over there.
Oh, God, I am so tired, but I'm so excited. We're here at Origins. This is my second time, and
It's
just
actually
to
the second
be
time we're filming this. It's midnight.
It's
and
midnight,
Somebody forgot
yeah.
to hit record the first time.
right,
So
right.
we're
That
not gonna-
cameraman.
We're not going to call him out. We're
No.
definitely not going to say
No.
what a terrible decision that was to not hit
Right,
record.
we had gold, but
Rookie
anyway,
mistake.
yeah. We can pass right
But
past
Shay,
that.
it's great to see you.
Yes.
It's great to get down here. I'd say it's great to be in Columbus, but we're from Michigan, so it's never great to be in Columbus.
See,
we
I
like
need
to,
you. Look, we
like to call it the armpit of Michigan.
We trying to look. We guys.
We're trying to build some bridges here, aren't you?
Right, exactly. Thank you.
Well, anyways, we're going to leave that one alone. But it was an incredible day. Obviously, this is the first year the Champions of Tabletop has been able to have a media badge. And so it was so awesome. We had a chance to bring to you some of the highlights of some of the things we saw day one here on Wednesday. And Shay, what are some things as we head towards Thursday, which is technically day one of Origins, what are some things that you're really excited about?
Well, I think the biggest thing that really I wanted to draw on is the fact that we're going to see some smaller publishers. We're going to see the people that, doesn't always get that big push, and just I want to find random, weird, cool, I never thought I liked games. That's always been my thing. I always love that just knowing, that searching for something without having to be told by somebody
It's
and
kind
just
of
go
like
for
when
it.
you hear that song from that musician nobody knows, and you feel like you get to share something with them. And that brings up a great point. I know for myself, initially, we won't be able to make it to Gen Con, so this is kind of our Gen Con this year. And Origins is kind of morphing itself into this platform of being the release party of the games, or I should say the hype party, and then Gen Con kind of becoming the release party, which is a great business decision. But I will be honest, with them only being a month apart and about 200 miles apart, I was a little bummed out initially when I saw the lineup of some of the big companies that won't be at Origins. Things like Asmodee are not going to be here, CMON are not going to be here. I'm a big fan of Roxley. Unfortunately, they're not going to be here as well, especially, or even Ivy Studios. I'm a big fan of Ivy Studios. They just announced a brand new game, Brink, and unfortunately, they're not going to be here to show it off. But with all of that said, the old adage of, the tall tree gets all the sun. One of the beautiful things with Origin is sometimes when the tall tree's gone, the short trees get some of the sun. And I think that's one of the cool things. We saw some of the videos already. Companies like Origami Whale, that's the one I'm really excited about. Dicey Devices really, really impressed me. And that's something I probably wouldn't have seen.
Exactly. And I think that's what is the true beauty of Origins, is the people who we don't get the big hype from, but they're just as passionate, even more so, to do and to bring their vision and their dreams to life.
Right. I mean, literally, the guys at Seabound are putting their own blood in the miniatures.
I heard that.
Now,
I think you might have misheard that.
I don't think I misheard. He was very clear. He said, I'm putting my blood in the miniatures. Now, left to interpretation.
Yeah.
Kids show. We don't
Kids
want to talk
show.
about putting blood in
Right,
things.
right, kids show.
Seems kind of cultish, but the point is that these are two young guys who are just grinding it out as entrepreneurs, and they're going to get a chance to really show themselves well here at Origins. Any other big things that you can think of as we wrap up Wednesday and head towards Thursday?
Hold that thought.
Oh, boy.
This is my camera? Yes, there's only one. Your boy's going to that company. you know your boy's gonna talk about that solo game that he loves. You know that boy wants that exclusive shirt. And so my first thought is to, do the media thing with the first booth I'm going to. The very first booth I'm going to. Y'all know what it
Okay,
is.
well, for those of you who don't, because maybe we're bringing brand new people in.
Oh,
bringing
yeah,
Origins.
that's true.
So, for those of you who don't know, there's 80 videos to prove the background of this. That Shay is a big obsessant Van Ryder game. In fact, we've had
Yes.
Jamie, who you might know from Foster the Meeples, also Van Ryder games. She was on our show. And, it's funny, during the first look that we had an opportunity to tonight with Media Badges was as I walked in, I saw this massive sign about a half mile down the convention center. And it was just Final Girl.
Yes,
and I
it
almost had
is.
to take a picture and send it to you because I was like, this is where his mouth waters.
Yes, but luckily their Discord already had it, so I already knew about it. And they also have Gateway Island I want to check out. There's so many. Anyway, but yes.
Yeah, and I know
Yes.
the Gateway Island is actually a really unique game we talked about on the podcast before, and we're really excited to check out on the show floor Origins. So as we kind of wrap up, one of the things, if you want to see more Origins content, definitely make sure you like and subscribe and check us out. Shay, anything you want to wrap up with as we get ready for day 2?
Yes, I will find my TikTok friends. What's the line? I don't know. It's from a movie. I can't wait to see y'all. That's what I really have.
All right. So with that said, we're gonna go to bed because it's
Yes.
ridiculously late.
Oh.
And, with that, actually, hold on. I want to say something else.
Yeah, talk to him.
I forgot. We said this in the first take,
Yeah,
and
talk
then
to him.
I forgot for take 2 because somebody
Yeah.
forgot to hit the record. But one of the other cool things with Origin, again, being the first year with our media badges, was getting to see some people that motivated or inspired us. And a few years ago, when I first started getting kind of back into this hobby space, Board Game Co. Alex over at Board Game Co. Was somebody who really motivated me to want to try to do something like this. And so it was really cool. I had a chance to meet him and Professor Meg from Board Game Co. So if you don't like and subscribe, definitely check out Alex. I mean, he puts out a video every single day. He is grinding away, but he was very kind, came over, talked to me for a little bit, had a nice conversation. We laughed about Mythic games. And Professor Meg was incredibly sweet. So thank you for them, for the motivation and, the time that they gave us tonight. So really looking forward to Origins.
It's gonna be great.
Excited to bring everything to you guys.
Ooh.
And so with that said, Shay,
Yeah?
we have to wrap up with our favorite thing.
What's that?
And that is
Champions
never stop playing.
Yeah, I'm not going to play anymore either. I'm going to make sure this is
I swear to
recording.
God, Shay.